This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Welcome to Easy Eats. My name is Chef Yves Dechaine, and today we're in the Greener Villages Learning Kitchen with Norm Baumeister, owner of Norm's Diecast and Collectibles. Welcome, Norm, and thanks for
having me.
Right on. So, Norm, today we're going to make Assassin's Pasta. So you were telling me before the show started that you cook because you have to. So this is a perfect recipe for you because it's something that's quick, it's easy, there's minimal dishes, and it doesn't take very much time at all.
That's perfect.
So before we get into that, Norm, let's talk about Norm's Diecast. So how did you get started?
Well, really, it was just like an idea that I had come up with and talked to with my girlfriend, and wanted to basically take my hobby and try to turn it into a business.
Right on. And so your hobby, collecting Hot Wheels,
Yep.
is that's correct, right?
Yep.
So I know as a kid I collected Hot Wheels, and I mean I think you've hit on the mark because I mean the more that's how I found out about you. Someone was like, "There's this guy who sells Hot Wheels in Oromocto. You should go and check him out."
Yeah, it's I hear that from a lot of people. A lot of people come in, and the thing I like the most about it is when people come in and they see stuff that they played with when they were kids, and they kind of slowly start collecting all the stuff that they had and remembered playing with as kids. And yeah.
Well, that's it. Yeah, collectibles, right?
Yep.
So nostalgia. Do you have a favorite one, or?
I don't. I've kind of slowed down on my collecting and focused more on helping other people collect the stuff that they want. So a lot of my collection has actually gone to other collectors.
Okay. I was going to say, do you keep your collection in the shop?
I do. And then slowly people would pick away at it, where they would see something that they've been looking for a really long time, and I'd much rather help somebody else out than keep it for myself.
Right on. So before you were, a collectible or a trader,
Yep.
What were you doing before that?
I was in the military for 9 years, and then I actually became a heavy equipment technician.
Cool. So, so you went from big wheels
Yeah.
to little wheels.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of fun, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I enjoy it.
Right on. So, not just Hot Wheels. Do you do, what other collectibles do you do?
In the store, I started out with just Hot Wheels cars, and then as time went on and I kept getting more interest for other things, I moved into different brands like Hot Wheels, Matchbox, Greenlight, M2, Inno64, anything really that was out on the market that was 1/64 scale.
Okay.
And then slowly been growing into some larger scale stuff too, like 134, 118, stuff like that. Not as much right now, but something that we're slowly growing into.
Are you selling the tracks too, like classic sets? And,
I have some in the store, but mostly focusing on just the cars, not so much as the tracks. I do have some tracks set up in the store for kids to be able to come in and play with and stuff like that.
Big kids, little kids?
All kinds of
All
kids.
kinds of kids, yeah, right
Yeah.
on. So posters, clothing as well, or is it right now just focused on the
I
on
actually
the car itself?
have my store clothing, and then there's another local brand in Fredericton, Illicid.
Okay.
I also carry their full line of clothing as well.
Oh, right
and
on.
they're more like the tuner car enthusiast brand, but they've done a bunch of stuff that's Hot Wheels related stuff and art on their clothing that I carry in the store, and yeah, they're awesome.
Right on. Is there a Hot Wheel that everyone is always looking for? Is there like a favorite one that?
I wouldn't say so much that there's a favorite one, because like with anything, like everyone has their own flavor. So you get all kinds of different collectors collectors that collect in the package, loose collectors, people that like opening cars after they buy them, muscle cars, import cars. Like it's all over the place. There's so many different avenues that you can go. Yeah, it's really cool.
My next question is, I mean, you got like mechanics and stuff like that. Do you know any like body men, I guess? So you get these old cars, like I collected cars, and I mean, when we were kids, I just throw them into a bucket.
Yeah.
So they get dinged up and they get beat up, and then the paint would flake away. And so, do you have any guys that restore old Hot Wheels?
I do have a few different customers that do customs where they'll buy even brand new cars, take them out of the package, change the wheels on them, maybe take the decals that came off, repaint it, and then they reseal it in packages and display them that way as customs, or they do that and keep them loose. But yeah, it's a whole nother world doing that, and there's actually a lot of local local people around here that do customs that do phenomenal jobs. Like, it's especially when you're looking at that small a scale, the detail that they can put into them is unreal.
Yeah. So, did you think that this would take off as it did? I mean, I know everyone that's starting a business is hoping that this is my millions, but I mean, going into Hot Wheels or thinking this is what I like to do. Did you know that it was going to be this popular?
No, not at all. Actually, I starting out, I really had no clue on if there was even going to be a market for it. Like, I knew there was collectors, but I had no idea that there's thousands of collectors in the land of Canada. And when I started out, the initial store that I had was only 300 square feet, and I thought that was even going to be a little bit too big for just having Hot Wheels cars in. And then after just a few months there, I realized that I was really into something here, and it was getting to the point where people on Saturdays would come to the store and would line up outside.
Wow.
Waiting to get in, just because of the store was so small that only 6 or 7 people could be in the store at a time shopping comfortably. So at that point I started looking at a larger location and ended up moving in there, and it's just over 1,000 square feet now.
Do you see a lot, I guess, what's the ratio? Do you see a lot of dads coming in with their kids?
Oh, for sure.
Or moms coming in with their kids?
Yep.
Or is it just like collector guys that are coming in?
Most of my customer base, I would say, would be collectors, but there's a lot of collectors that do have kids and they come in, and that's kind of where actually my girlfriend got the idea of me to have almost like a little play corner where I have bins of cars that are there to play with, tracks set up for them to play with.
So yeah, put that idea that Norm's is fun to go and hang out.
Oh yeah, a lot of the times it's more the leaving that the parents have issues with.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah.
But no, it's good, and usually when kids do come in, they usually get a Hot Wheel or so that they can take for free, kind of thing. Or if they are having a little harder time leaving, I usually offer the parents
a little bit of a bribe.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, if it works, it works.
Oh, it is, and it's fun. I enjoy it.
Right on. So do you have any stories about anybody? I know that I've got a few people who are telling me that people are looking for a specific car. Do they find that specific car?
Yeah, that was another reason why I started selling a little bit more of my own collection if somebody was really interested in, because it was usually a customer that came in and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you have that. I've been looking for that for X amount of time. And instead of saying, yeah, I don't mind, like, well, if you've been looking for that long, here you go.
And I mean, how rare can these be? Because I mean, like I said, there's probably millions and millions made, and kids like me who had a bucket full, and then now I have no clue where that bucket went, right?
Yeah. So Hot Wheels is really good that way from a marketing standpoint, where they do put out low production cars, and they're called regular treasure hunts and super treasure hunts, and they come with like a low production symbol on the card and on the vehicle, and those are geared more towards collectors, where the super treasure hunts come with a different paint on them. They also come with real rubber tires on them. So those are a lot harder to come by. You can still find them in like local box stores and stuff like that, but they're definitely a lot harder to find. So there's a lot of collectors out there that are trying to find those, and then a lot of the older ones and stuff like that, those are getting a lot harder to get a hold of and stuff.
We'll be back right after a few messages to make the Assassin's Pasta.
Thank God she's a half a mile away, huh?
She's loaded, boys. You gotta get out of here. It's full of explosives.
Children, come on.
Oh, no. No, get out of here. Vince!
Come back in the school.
Please, get these children out of here. That ship is gonna blow. No!
Mr. Coleman.
Hurry! Hurry! You gotta get these people out of here. That ship is gonna blow. The train.
What?
People, get out of here. It's gonna blow up. Ignition ship on fire. Stop train. Please, God, answer.
Coleman, there's no time.
The train's coming in towards Pier 6. I've got to warn you.
Come on, Vince, come on.
There are 700 people aboard it. I've got to stop it. Come on, acknowledge.
Halifax was devastated. 9,000 wounded, 2,000 dead, including Vince Coleman, dispatcher.
Welcome back to Easy Eats. Again, my name is Chef Yves Dechaine, and we're in the Greener Villages Learning Kitchen with Norm Baumeister, owner of Norm's Die-Cast and Collectibles. So Norm, we're going to get right into it and make this Assassin's Pasta. So it's really simple and easy. All you need is 2 pots, and we're going to start off with a little bit of olive oil. So I'll put probably about a tablespoon of olive oil in this pot right here, and then probably a good glug right there in this one. So we're going to start off, and then it's called Assassin's Pasta because it's a little bit spicy. So we're going to put some chili flakes in this oil, and we're just going to let that heat up for a little bit. And then while we're doing that, I'm just going to mince up some garlic to put into this pot to create a tomato broth. Okay, so we're kind of making, it's almost like a risotto,
Okay.
but with pasta instead of rice is really all it is. So there we go. So a fine chop on that. Toss that in there like that, and we're just going to let that saute until it's fragrant. And then we're going to take spaghetti, and it only works well with spaghetti. And we're just going to fry it right in this pan. So the idea is to get a pan that's big enough that it's not going to, so you don't have to break your pasta. And then there we're going to turn that on to high, and then we're just basically just going to fry our pasta just like that.
Why do we use dry pasta and not boil it first?
Not boil it first? So this is the whole, I guess the lore or the story behind it is that it was made quick. So what had happened was, and the story behind the recipe is that that this mobbed up guy came in and wanted to eat, but the restaurant was just about to close. So the chef had to scramble, and he didn't want to start anything big, so he threw this in and absorbed. So, but what it does is that all the flavor gets absorbed into the pasta. So this broth that we're making, so you're not you're not filling this with water and making it soft, so all the juices, so it makes it a richer and heartier dish. And
That's awesome.
And then continuing on to that story is that the chef wanted to make it, and he's like, I'm going to make this guy think twice about coming in final hour. So he made it as spicy as he could make it. So we can adjust the spice by adding as many chili flakes as you want.
Okay.
So now our garlic has browned a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to toss the 3 cups of just a pureed tomato. So one of those big cans of tomatoes, right like that. We're going to turn that down to a dull roar. And I'm going to get you to add 3 cups of water. And that's going to become the broth. And the broth is just like the risotto. We're going to add that slowly to this pasta once we get it going. So there we go. There we go. So all we wanted to do is, you see how it's crisping up like that and it's kind of getting brown?
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what we're looking for. So while we're frying this up a little bit, you were mentioning the kids and stuff like that, and you did a really cool thing. You guys did a thing for all the hospitals in the area. So tell me a little bit about that.
So a mutual friend, Randy Titus is his name.
Okay.
He had reached out to myself and Jason McCaw and had kind of told us that he was looking to get some cars to donate to some kids. And Jason and I got together, and he had donated some cars from his personal collection, and then I had a bunch at the store that I could donate. So we kind of donated them, and then Randy was the man behind getting them all out to the different hospitals and everywhere else.
And that's great, because I mean, a lot of those kids, especially like the IWK and here at the deck and in Noramukto, they're bedridden. And
Yeah.
How do you play in those little cars? I mean, you can make mountains out of the sheets and race
Yeah.
tracks, and I mean, the sky's the limit, and that's
Oh, yeah.
fantastic. Yeah. And I'm sure there's probably some smiling faces, and that's awesome.
No, it was a fun thing to be a part of. I was happy to do it, and definitely something that I look forward to doing more.
So I saw online that you were doing a trading thing. So and in an association, is it with the car show?
So Jason actually holds a car show every year for his brother.
Yes.
So we're gonna be set up there with a booth, and then also I just started planning a die-cast market for the 22nd of April this year, or sorry, 28th of April this year, out at the Gary Lyons Hall, and we're gonna see if we can get a go at that.
Well, that'd be pretty cool. So see, now that the pasta is nice and crispy like this,
Yep.
we're gonna slowly add our broth to it like that. So a lot like a risotto, we'll add a broth just to cover,
Oh, okay.
3 or 4 ladlefuls like this. Just like that. And then we're not going to mix it up. All we're going to do is we're just going to let it kind of, and we're not going to do anything else with it like that, and we're just going to let it sit and percolate just like that.
So with the sauce like that, do you still need to bring it to a boil to soften the noodles?
Oh, absolutely. So it's going to be a simmer. So you don't want it to be a rolling boil, but what you want to do is we're going to have it evaporate. So it's slowly going to absorb. So as it's sitting here, the sauce is going to get thicker with the starch from the pasta,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
going to start to stick a little bit. So, and that's okay. So just move it around and then just add more liquid as it goes. You may not use the full amount of this, but it'll be until you decide how cooked you want your pasta to be.
Oh, okay.
So some people like it al dente like me, that's a little firm to the tooth. People like it a little soggier. So then, yeah, you can kind of bring it to where you want it to be. And then this you can just chuck in the fridge, and then it's ready for the next time you want to make another
okay.
sauce, right? So see, now we're just kind of moving it around just like that. So let's talk about, I guess, ratios. Do you see more men coming into collectibles, or is it like a split? I'm always interested about that.
I would say it mostly is more men. I'd have to look, like I know, like with my website, like it shows me analytics.
Okay, yeah.
For age groups and gender and stuff like that. I think mostly it is more men, and I would say like between the ages of like 30 and 45. But I am seeing like a lot more younger individuals coming in, getting into collecting and stuff like that, and a lot of them are really big in like the Fast and Furious stuff and the like imports and stuff. But really, like the range of people that come in is just, it's crazy. Like all kinds. And then like there's, what I really never expected was the amount of couples that come in and they both collect and stuff.
Oh,
and, like
cool.
that's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool to see.
That would be a neat hobby to do with to get in, because I know that there's a lot of car shows.
Yep.
Couples get involved and they
Oh, yeah.
they show and shine all these cool cars. And I guess it's almost the same thing, right? You got the big show and then the little show off to the
and
side.
I find like a lot of people really enjoy collecting old cars that they've had, like actual cars that they had. And I get a lot of people message me and say, like, I have this car, I'm looking to get a Hot Wheels in it. So I do a lot of helping people find Hot Wheels of their real cars.
There we go. So you see how the sauce is getting, and then the pasta's still a little stiff.
It does thicken right up.
It does. So then that's where you come in and you put a couple more ladlefuls of sauce, just like this. So the idea is to get a nice crunchy pasta, and then the char as well. So Assassin's pasta, you can bring this and almost kind of burn it, but not really burn it, because all the sugars in the tomato sauce are going to caramelize.
Oh, okay.
So you get a nice deeper flavor. So what turned into somebody doing out of spite turned into a dish, which a lot of times in restaurants and in cooking, things happen by accident.
No, it looks really good.
So far, so good, yeah. So we'll just finish these up, and we'll be back after this short break.
Man, is there a lot of pressure on this young fighter here tonight.
Fighting is life.
This is my belt. I earned this in blood, paid in full. This is mine.
Everyone gets knocked down, but fighters get back up.
You cannot break me, I promise you.
Adversity is the road to victory. Sacrifice is the price for glory. The very struggle for survival is the fight for greatness.
This is a brain in urgent need of mental health care. But because 3 out of every 4 Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare, she may not get the help she needs. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Welcome back to Easy Eats. Again, I'm in the Greener Villages Learning Kitchen with Norm from Norm's Diecast and Collectibles. So Norm, we're just about finished. It needs a couple more minutes, not even. You see how it's kind of sticking here, and you're getting all that sauce is nice and rich from and all the things are caramelizing. The tomatoes are caramelizing. The starch from the pasta is leached out into the sauce, so it's thickened it up, and then all of this spaghetti has absorbed all of this tomato. So it just makes a really luxurious sauce.
It looks phenomenal.
So, pasta. Let's talk about that for a minute. You told me before, when we asked you to come on, what do you like to make, or what do you like? And pasta is what you said. So why pasta?
I like pasta because it's really versatile. You can kind of make a whole bunch of different things all the time with very little.
Well, no, absolutely, and I mean, it's one of the cheaper, I guess, starches that you can find in your cupboard. And
oh yeah,
and you're right. It's great for leftovers and just throw things together. There we go.
What would be a good meat or protein to be able to pair it with this?
With this dish should be served all by itself, but if you wanted to use it as the first course, like many Italian meals have 7 or 8 courses, this would go nice with either roast chicken or a nice chicken, not a chicken parm, but a breaded cutlet, so like a schnitzel, I guess.
Yep.
Germans call it schnitzel, but if we're eating it with pasta, we'll call it scallopini. And what's nice about this here is you can almost do this anywhere. So if you were a camper, all you would need to do is bring a can of tomato sauce or a can of tomatoes, a package of pasta, some oil, and some spices, and then you're set.
That's awesome.
You don't have to worry about boiling it. All you need is one frying pan, essentially, and a little pot. You don't need a big pot to boil the pasta in. You don't have to have 2 pots. So yeah, it's really easy. And again, people who are bachelor or single or don't have very much time, this is a nice, quick, and easy recipe.
Oh yeah.
So there we go. We're done. So the bottom is nice and thick, right like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab a spoon because I don't want to waste any of that. We're just going to scrape all of that, and that's what's nice about this too, is you're getting these nice chunky kind of charred tomato bits, which are kind of nice and rich and sweet to this sauce. So some chefs will bring this down to almost burnt. I don't quite like it that way, so I'll just bring it to here, and there we go. So we've got that just like that. We'll kill the heat on it, and then we'll just kind of twist it like this. And then just put it right here, just like that. So this recipe should feed 2 hungry people, or 1 really hungry person, or makes for 4. So we've got that like that. You can sprinkle a little parsley if you had it, or you can do like I'm going to do, is we're just going to load it with Parmesan cheese, just like that. Move that over here, Norm. And there you go. Give that a try. So what do you think?
That's really good.
And it's simple, it's easy. You think that's something that you would
oh, most definitely
bring home and make?
Yeah, that's really good. Delicious.
Right on. So Norm, you've got a couple events coming up. We were talking about them a little bit. So can you give me some dates so when we can come find you at these car shows and what did you call it? A trading?
Just a die-cast market.
A die-cast market.
That's
okay.
the one that I'm in the process of planning right now.
Okay.
So that is going to be on the 28th of April in Gary at the Lions Club there.
Okay.
And then there is a few car shows that I'll be set up at, but they'll be posted on our Facebook page.
Okay.
We'll have those spread out. And then addition to those, I also go down to Moncton to the Moncton Toy Show and set up a table down there. I haven't been in a little while. I took a little break over the winter. The next one is actually on the 10th of March.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Norm, and telling us a little bit about your world of collecting Hot Wheels and making me remember all the Hot Wheels that I was thinking about in my youth. I'm thinking of a couple right now that I'll ask if you've got going on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, and hopefully you've learned a little bit today.
Oh, yeah.
And you enjoyed the pasta.
No, I really liked it, and I really appreciate you having it on here.
Right on. Thanks.
Thank you.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Smudging is a very important part in our life as we're all learning to walk the good way. When we smudge, we use the sacred medicine, the white sage, the sweetgrass, the tobacco, and the cedar. It cleanses negative energy and replaces it by a positive energy. When I smudge, I cleanse my end and my eagle feather and start cleansing my breath to have better words. I will smudge my eyes so I could see the better things offered to me. I will smudge my ears to hear the good thing that people have to say. I will smudge my hair to have good thinking from my head. I will bring the smudge to my feet so I could walk in respect with our Mother, the Earth. Smudging is the way we give our prayers to connect our spirit to the Creator. We express gratitude for the gift of life, the learning, and growth.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
This is Rogers TV.
These days at your local Legion, we're marching to the beat of a different drum. On a mission to support veterans, to have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks. You don't have to be a veteran to join the Legion. And as a member, you'll join thousands of others serving our veterans, our communities, and our country. Oh yeah, and our Member Perks program will save you thousands on shopping, dining, products, and services.